Do you know that your device has 2 IP addresses? Although you may not know it, but you have 2 IP addresses. If you search for your IP address in Google, then you will probably see a screen like this. Open the command prompt and type ipconfig command and hit enter. You will see something like this. Both are your IP addresses. But they are not the same. The IP address you found from Google is your external IP address. And the IP address you found from the command prompt is your internal IP address. Let's go deeply about these two things. An internal IP address means a private IP address and an external IP address, which means public IP address. Why do you need 2 IP addresses, and what is the difference between an internal and external IP address? So, what is an external IP address? The external IP address or public IP address is the IP address of the router interface that is connected to the internet. A router will typically have 2 network interfaces, an internal interface and an external interface. Each of these interfaces will have an IP address. The IP address assigned to the external interface will have a routable IP address and will be assigned by your ISP. This address is also known as the public address. Public address ranges are assigned to ISPs by Internet Assigned Numbers Authority (IANA). On home office networks that use a NAT router, the internal IP addresses use a special IP address range. Wait, what does NAT means? So, the simple resolution to this is a method called Network Address Translation, or NAT. Think of NAT as a phone extension. Your office phone may only have one phone number, but many phones that have extensions. The default phone, your receptionist, answers general requests, and this is what your router does. NAT allows thousands of computers on an internal network access the internet using a single external IP address depending on the request. Your router then forwards the request to the appropriate local machine using its local NAT IP address. This address range is specifically reserved for internal addresses, and the IP addresses will not be forwarded by routers on the internet. Internal addresses are also called private addresses as they are restricted to private networks. Here is a common question some people's got. I'm running a VPN, but why is my IP address not changing? These people who ask this question are usually looking at their internal IP addresses and not their external IP addresses. That was a simple and small explanation about internal and external IP. If you are interested in these kinds of topics, subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon. Then you will get amazing educational videos when we upload it. Visit our website, extremely.com. You will find more amazing content related to these kinds of topics. If this video was useful, please like and share it with your friends. And thanks for watching.